I have a check engine light. Took it to AutoZone in Alamogordo. They say it's a P0308 error code, which means it's the 8th cylinder on this truck. Has to be. I've got a new, I think they call them ignition coils. So I have to replace that. The biggest problem of replacing it is the friggin' screw. I've never done this before, of course. And I guess it's a Sunday today, if I can't get to it, I'll take it into some place tomorrow, Monday. That means driving it with its little problem, though, which I'd rather not do. And then waiting in a waiting room for them to tend to it. Is that undoing it? I don't know if I'm undoing it. Going deaf and blind. I've got... Aging isn't for sissies, as they say. It would have to be the very last. I don't know if I'm getting it. Here's another one. Does this damn thing fit? See, I see the problem. I need a doodad that lets me go down there and do such and such. It makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Come on. Well, something came, oh, I see what came off. My own doodad there. Now let's get this magnet to it. Don't drop the magnet. Man, these guys who are giants who just work on trucks and have no problem. Don't drop the magnet. There we go. Got that baby. Now, have I loosened this thing up at all? Well, I didn't get the screw unloosened because I eventually looked at it closely and saw I was using a 7.5mm socket instead of a 7mm socket, so I got the 7mm socket. Worked down there, got the screw loose, then I lost it, had to get my magnet, reach down there, fiddle around. I mean, I'm rank amateur at this. Fiddled around, finally my magnet grabbed hold of the loose screw and I was able to pull that up. Then I had to unplug the plug that goes into the ignition coil, and I don't have the physical strength to unplug that easily, so I was using my wrench to do that, and suddenly the electricity arced. When it did that, I stopped what I was doing and went to the batteries and removed the battery cables. Then went back to the ignition coil and with my wrench was able to unplug the ignition coil. And you know, once the screw's out and the ignition coil is unplugged, then actually removing the ignition coil from its cylinder is very easy. It just comes right out. It took me forever to unplug this thing, but I finally got it unplugged. It's called an ignition coil. This thing doesn't look like anything's wrong with it, but P0308 code. See, there's its little, see the red thing there? That's what it plugs into. And it turns out to get that plug off, I had to get down here and see if you can see. See, you've got a little push thing in the back of this coil, right there where my thumb is. You have to kind of push it to loosen it and then yank really hard on both ends. At least for me. So now this is the new one, which looks just like the old one. So this is what it looks like. This is where it snaps on. This thing sits on top of the spark plug. See, there's the hole. Can you see that? I'll have to see if this gets it. There's the hole. Right there. And deep down there is the spark plug. Obviously, as much trouble as I've had taking this off and doing this, when I decide to have my spark plugs done, I will let the experts do it. Now this thing said it had grease on its bottom anyway, but I'll go ahead and put grease there. I hope I'm doing the right thing. Watch me be screwing it up. I am not a mechanic. This is total rank amateur hour. Is that even enough grease? I have no idea. I don't know. Watch it blow up once I'm all done. All right. I just hate to drive it when it has a boo-boo. I don't like doing that. So now, I see how you're supposed to plug it back. Maybe you're supposed to put it in first into its hole, deep dark hole, and then plug it in afterwards. I'll try putting in its hole first. Let's see. I have to do this right so that the screw doodad goes in. I'm going to plug it in now, if I can reach it. Did I hear a click? And will it go in? Is that all it is? I better look at this. Well, let's compare it to over here. Just sits up like that. I don't want to break anything. Wow, that easy to go in? It was such a bear to get out. Let's hang that. Oop, watch me lose this. Rank amateur hour here. Okay, yeah. See, it's fitting down there at the bottom. Well, if I can do it, you can do it. But if you're a woman like me, you may not want to do this. I thought, oh, I can do that. I said, really? Well, you know, it was Sunday, nobody's open, and I had to drive up the mountain and whatnot, and I said, how hard is it to do this kind of thing? Now, that did click. Okay, that's in. So now I have to put the screw bolts in. And I've got to get the screw in. Good luck with that. Getting it out was a bear. And unplugging this was a bear. A mechanic I am not. Okay, here's this. Let's see if this will get this through there. Oh, that might not be a good idea. I'll just see if I can't get this thing into the screw hole. Why do they make these things so hard to deal with? They would have to make these things difficult. Of course, if I had a different, this is in the 8th cylinder. If it had been a different cylinder up closer, it would have been easier to do. Okay, that seems to be... Can I make it into there? This is a mess. Finding a screw hole? Am I in a screw hole? I have no idea. I don't know. Let's see if I can get it. I would like to take it for a test drive after I've done this, but I can't see. Well, okay. I'll finish this job in the morning, which is involving, and there's going to be a whole lot more light with Ford F150s. If somebody tells you it's an ignition coil, see how much easier it'd be if it was on this side? See, here's one, real easy to get to. But you go on this side, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 back there, and then 5, 6, 7, 8. It's the next day, and I'm here trying to get that screw in. The screw is a 7mm screw, and I left off with that last night. And I have this in here, and I think I'm where I've got it screwing in. I'll just keep doing this until it seems to be tight. My main problem is I can't really tell. This number 8 chamber where the spark plug is, and then this ignition coil on top. It's the ignition coil I've replaced. I guess I should keep doing this until it's tight. Finally, after using this forever, it finally screwed on tight. So tight that when I took it off, this doodad here stayed on the bolt, so I used my magnet to take the thing off the bolt. Good. Well, P0308 error code, check engine light. I took it to AutoZone, which has a reader, and it said it was the ignition coil on the 8th thing here. So, got an ignition coil. They only had one left to fit this F150. And it's an F150 2007. When I had my alt crash, I really wanted another Dodge, but I couldn't find a Dodge Ram in good shape, and I'm not going to buy brand new. That's just a waste of money. I got this 2007. Anything made out of steel I want. Way in the back is number 8. The hardest thing for this for me was getting the screw out and then unplugging the thing. When I unplugged it, I was trying it with my doodad up there, which is metal, and it caused a spark. So when that happened, I stopped what I was doing and I undid these. Decided to take these battery terminals off, and I saw a little bit of corrosion in them, so I've cleaned out the corrosion really well. I've put corrosion preventative on them, and I'm getting ready to attach these battery things back up. And then I'm going to take this thing for a test drive if it starts. We'll see what happens. Well, how about them apples? Sounds good. It's not having that weird sound to it. That weird skipping a beat feel. Of course, look, because I had the batteries out, I've got all that select program language and all that stuff for the radio. And the check engine light is off, but you know, the check engine light could be off because I had the battery disconnected for so long. But boy, this is driving smooth. This is idling very smoothly. Very smoothly, and a check engine light isn't coming back on. Looks like Sissy fixed it. Thanks to AutoZone telling me what I don't have a reader. This is Monday. I won't have to take it into a place. Instead, Betty's with me, and we're going to go into Cloudcroft to test drive this and take the trash in. Well, this is exciting. Bye-bye from Cloudcroft, New Mexico. GoPro video off. GoPro, turn off video. Well, we see how well that works, huh?